Last week, we saw the British Olympic team selected at the 2024 Aquatics GB Swimming Championships, and while there were many fast swims all around, one race in particular stood out among the rest, the men's 200 freestyle. The British men have been very deep in this event for a few years now. In 2021 at the Tokyo Olympics, Team GB went 1-2 in this event with Tom Dean and Duncan Scott finishing just 400ths apart in 144.2s. The Brits were also the clear favorites in the 800 free relay at the last Olympics, with many speculating that they had the potential to break the world record in the event. The relay team of Tom Dean, James Guy, Matt Richards, and Duncan Scott teamed up to win Olympic gold by over 3 seconds and were just hundredths away from the world record, touching the wall in 6:58.62. Due to the odd timing of the events in 2022, many members of the British team either skipped that year's Worlds or were not fully rested, choosing instead to focus on the Commonwealth Games. But at that year's Worlds, we did get to see a big-time relay split from defending Olympic champion Tom Dean, as he split under 144 for the first time in a 143.53, providing an anchor that was responsible for pulling the relay into the bronze position. At last year's Worlds in Fukuoka, Great Britain was back on top of the podium with the same team that won them Olympic gold, and broke the 7-minute mark once again in a 6:59.08. Dean was able to blast another 143 split, while Matt Richards had some big drops at this meet, winning the individual event over Dean in a 144.3. And that brings us to the 2024 British team trials, where the same 4 200 freestyles that had brought so much success in the 800 free relay were set to square off against one another to see who gets the chance to race the event individually in Paris. Matt Richards got things started as he flipped first at the 50-meter mark, with Tom Dean just 300ths behind. At 100 meters, James Guy had the fastest second 50 of the field to claim the lead at the halfway point. On the final turn, Guy maintained his lead, but it wasn't by much, as Richards and Dean started out splitting him. Over the final 50, Duncan Scott had the fastest closing split of the field, but it was Matt Richards that got his hand on the wall first with a winning time of 144.69, with Duncan Scott getting second just 600ths back in 144.75. And unsurprisingly, rounding out the top 4 qualifiers are Tom Dean and James Guy with times of 145.09 and 145.28. That was a very fast field for a domestic final of a 200 free, and shows that these 4 swimmers will be a massive threat in the 800 free relay once again in Paris this summer. In fact, those 4 flat start times swam at trials add up to 6:59.81, and that is without taking into account any potential drops from relay starts. With this same quartet poised to make a run at another Olympic gold, the natural question follows: can they break the world record this time? The pieces are certainly there for a new world record. Tom Dean and Duncan Scott have both been under 144 with a flying start, just never at the same time. Meanwhile, Matt Richards has been as fast as 144.3 in the individual event, and James Guy has been 144.44 on a relay split in recent years. The biggest difficulty in taking aim at any relay record is making sure that all your swimmers are primed and ready to perform their absolute best on the exact same day. Take that 2021 Olympic performance that just missed the world record. Tom Dean led off the relay in a 145.72, a second and a half slower than his Olympic gold medal swim from earlier in the meet. If he equaled that time, they would have smashed the world record. Or in 2023, when Great Britain broke 7 minutes again and won themselves a world title. Duncan Scott led off in a 145.42, which is a little over a second off of his personal best. Once again, if he was closer to that mark, then they're right on world record pace. The point is not to say that any one swimmer cost their team a world record for being slower than they have been before, rather to illustrate just how hard it is to get 4 swimmers at their absolute peak in the same 7-minute span that is required to break a world record like this. And this team does have one strong advantage when it comes to hunting world records. They are so talented in this event that they have a significant margin of error. If one swimmer is off on race day, or if all 4 are just off by a little bit, on paper, they still have the potential to break the world record. But even if they don't take down the world record this summer, Team GB has the potential to make history in another way if they defend their Olympic title. So far, no relay team has won back-to-back Olympic titles before. Many countries have won back-to-back before, and oftentimes they have some repeat swimmers, but never all 4 on the same finals relay. The closest that we've gotten to this happening was in 2008 in the men's medley relay. The only difference in the lineup was that Michael Phelps was on the butterfly leg, while in 2004 it was Ian Crocker, but only because Phelps gave up his final spots to Crocker because he's just such a nice guy. If these 4 incredibly talented swimmers can get it done again this summer, they will be the first in Olympic history to achieve such a feat. This is truly one of the most impressive fields of 200 freestylers that we've seen in a single country. The times that these 4 went at trials currently rank 2nd, 3rd, 6th, and 9th in the world this year. Meanwhile, no other country has more than one swimmer in the top 10. Do you think that any other countries can put together a relay team that can topple the Brits? We saw some historically fast splits at the 2024 Doha World Championships, but they were spread out across multiple countries. Let me know what you think and post your predictions down below.